point that I enjoy very much in the program, talking to our guest commentator who is with me for the rest of the program and who'll be giving his thoughts on the news and issues of the day. And he is today, of course, the current affairs analyst and professor of communications at Baze University in Abuja, Professor Abiodun Adeniyi. Great to see you, Prof.
Thank you, Charles. Well done.
Well done to you. We've seen quite a lot of, we've seen the Professor Okechukwu, who started off the evening talking, as he normally does, very wisely about a lot of things. I wonder what your take is right now on where things are. I mean, the opposition have talked about, they've spoken about their regrets and what they don't think is right and so on, but we got to move on, and the next stage is, what are they going to contribute to national development?
I think there's nothing really unusual, really, and of course, a kind of democracy is that democracy where we need a very strong opposition, because we've celebrated severally that we're not doing badly in terms of longevity 24 years down the road, but that the bane of our democracy is that there's still a problem with character. And of course, if we want to grow the character, if we want to deepen it, if we want to ensure that it becomes of a higher quality, we need a very strong opposition. Now, when we're talking about a strong opposition, an opposition that will be like an alternative voice, providing reasonable solutions as to what the government is probably, reasonable alternative to all the solutions the government is probably providing, towards resolving problems. Yes, we had PDP's Atiku Abubakar, said he will continue. He's still very determined. He was very trenchant in his remark after the Supreme, in his World Press Conference about the Supreme Court. We've also heard from Governor Peter Obi yesterday. Very good way to go, because other than that, what more do we expect? These are very responsible citizens, and they are not they're not asking their supporters to march onto the street, but they are saying that we'll remain, opposed to what we think is not right with our democracy. And I think that's the way to go, which means that the government in power will really know that it's not yet a bed of roses. They have to be on their toes, do their best, to probably minimize the impact of the opposition. But in a situation where there's no opposition, nobody wants a one-party state, because it can become very boring, very dictatorial, very, monotonous. That's not the kind of thing we want. So every democracy that is what is sought, that want to grow, will need a credible alternative voice, as an alternative, as the case could be.
And is this the first time that we're really seeing those kinds of credible oppositions? I mean, you've got Peter Obi, who has a lot of credibility with Nigerian people on different sort of sides of the political divide.
The picture is slightly different now, Charles. Before now, we used to have what looks like a two-party arrangement. One party is in government, and the other party, which could also have won the election, will be in the opposition. But now we are having, two parties out of government that could also have been in government. And so, which means that, the space is going to be much more vibrant, much more contentious, and there's going to be a battle of ideas, with respect to financials, to the myriad of problems that we have. And we can see the government also somewhat discomforted each time the opposition, either former Vice President Atiku speaks, or when former Governor Peter Obi speaks. You see them trying to react. So what it tells me is that they are on their toes. They're not going to rest on their arse. They will just make sure that the perfect processes, perhaps to give the opposition less ammunition or less room, to be able to pick at them.
And from the point of view of the opposition, Professor Okechukwu was saying that they really need to, not just the occasional sort of speeches now and again, they need to up their game by doing things like not only marshalling their troops at the National Assembly to become much more vocal in opposition, but that they should come up with things like a shadow cabinet.
That's going to be very difficult, considering the fact that we're still very material. There's still a weapon, quiet weapon there, and that we all know, that can prevent people from being strongly ideological. People.
No, but I mean, a shadow cabinet, it just means that you've got different people
I see what
for
you mean.
different ministries.
Yeah, I see what you mean. But see, when
as shadow ministers.
When you control the levers of government, you have the power to distribute favors, and some of these favors can be hydra-headed. They come in different shapes and sizes. Everybody want to get a bite of the cherry. Even some sections of the oppositions at some time they'll start caving in.
Are you talking about people in the National Assembly?
I don't want to be
because that's quite different from a shadow cabinet.
Yeah, but people in the National Assembly, I'm saying they can hardly form the kind of cabinet you are envisaging, because if there's a pointer to that, we'll probably have been seeing it now.
No, but it's not the people in the National Assembly who will form the shadow cabinet. It's just people, just like you appoint, the government doesn't appoint people from the National Assembly to be ministers. You just appoint people who are ministers. And for each of the ministries, you have someone who is in opposition, whose entire focus is on that particular ministry.
Yeah, I think I was on track. Really.
Okay, sorry, go on.
Yeah, I'm just saying that it's not going to be possible in that kind of system, because we're still very.
But I don't see why not.
Well, those in power are strong enough, to whittle down the power of any supposed shadow cabinet.
All you have to do is follow because generally speaking, if the government does something like a supplementary budget, we bring someone in from the opposition who criticizes that supplementary budget or analyzes it from their own perspective. If you had a shadow minister of budget, that would be the person you'd call.
I'm not sure we're vibrant enough for this kind of arrangement.
I think you're underestimating the opposition and the Nigerian
I don't think so. And that's why I keep saying that, people in government can be very, very strong. Okay. And of course, sections of the opposition will not
30
miss
seconds.
The opportunity to get a bite of the cherry at different times, as the case could be.
Okay. Well, we'll leave it at that. Prof, thank you very much indeed. That's it for this edition of Arise Primetime. Join us again tomorrow. From me and the entire team here in Abuja and Washington, bye-bye, and thank you for watching.